Any millionaire mansion will undoubtedly contain some fascinating items concealed inside a bird's. This is made worse by the fact that the mansion is deserted. These are some highly wealthy homes that were abandoned and left to rot for a variety of reasons, such as the unexplained owner's death or, in some cases, fugitive criminals. Later, when visitors came to look around or investigate, they discovered some spectacular items, including priceless supercars stashed away in the grandmother's garage and a mafia palace straight out of James Bond. Here are the most incredible things found in abandoned millionaire mansions. Before starting, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more future updates. So let's start. Rare supercars. It's not unusual to come across ancient automobiles in garages constructed in 2018. One broke student was so impressed with his grandmother's garage that he decided to visit his grandmother's mansion. The house was very old, filthy, and full of clutter. The student realized he had never been in the garage when he arrived. However, he discovered something inside that he never imagined his elderly grandma to own. A silver 1981 Lamborghini that wasn't in the garage, and a red Ferrari 308 parked next to it. These vehicles are valued at over $450,000 when combined. The red Ferrari 308 driven by Tom Selleck in Magnum Pi and the silver Lamborghini Countach, both supercars that are both extremely uncommon. These two incredible cars, which Leonardo DiCaprio drove in The Wolf of Wall Street, had been gathering dust in this grandmother's garage for decades and had been owned by her late husband. The poor student who found the cars said it broke his heart that they had been left in such a state, but he was also ecstatic since it was such an amazing and unusual find. The lesson here is to always check your grandparents' garage. You never know what incredible riches might be concealed inside of it. Mafia Mansion. A massive mansion on a 2.6-acre site in Toronto, Canada, was seized by York Regional authorities in 2020. It was a $9 million mansion, but its owners left it as soon as the police arrived because it was being utilized as a full-service black market luxury casino. This secret, opulent casino seemed like it belonged in a James Bond film. It was run by a Canadian mafia. There were numerous large illicit gaming tables inside. Rich gamblers from all over the world would swarm to this location, mostly Chinese businesspeople who were millionaires and billionaires. They had poker, slots, and baccarat. Everything was unregulated, and you could wager really big amounts without, of course, having to pay taxes on your earnings. Many conventional casinos are forced to close their birds because to COVID-19 regulations. The enormous home had armed guards and guard dogs patrolling the grounds. Gambling was taking place as the mansion was being raided, which caused black market casinos to soar in popularity. The proprietors of the home and many of the gamblers were forced to leave because of this. It was worth it for them because many of them avoided the remainder of the enormous home, which contained a restaurant and bar, even though they left a lot of money lying around that was seized by the Fed's birds. Even prohibited food was served at the restaurant, such shark fin. Due to the large number of extremely wealthy Chinese patrons that frequented this casino, the menu was available in both English and Chinese. There was expensive liquor worth $1.5 million in the mansion's bar. This included expensive wine worth more than $4,000. There were other devices for defense as well. Criminal Mansion. It appears that crime does, in fact, pay well. The majority of offenders are caught by the law eventually. And as a result, they are forced to give up their lavish lifestyle, either because they are imprisoned and have their possessions seized, or because they are forced to depart the nation and leave their mansions behind. An abandoned estate was visited by a Spanish YouTuber named Esme Anthro a few years ago. It was obvious that the property's previous owners had gone quickly. In the dishwasher, dishes were still heaped. There was also a safe, which was empty but probably contained money and passports. Additionally, there were bullets lying throughout the house. There was even an abandoned automobile inside the garage. The red sports automobile had a significant market value. This implies that whoever resided in this residence had an urgent need for cash. Cash is occasionally among the most remarkable findings, along with abandoned homes. That is what a city explorer found in a deserted mansion. A few years ago, a Canadian urban explorer by the name of Freak Topography went inside an abandoned mansion eventually. There were numerous interesting items within. A hospital bed and numerous pictures of the family were also present. The house was filled with a lot of belongings as well. In most homes, this would be typical at first. All of the belongings are often removed when a residence is abandoned. The explorer was searching the house when he came upon a bag, and as he opened it, his mouth dropped open in shock. There were numerous rolls of cash inside. The fee money, which came in nicely wrapped packages totaling thousands of dollars, was American, not Canadian. Most of the time, folks would just take this money from the Berta gentleman, instead of doing what this urban adventurer did. When exploring deserted homes, Freak Topography lives by the maxim, take only images, leave only imprints. Instead, he somehow located a member of the mansion owner's family. Initially furious that he had broken into the housebirds, the family member later understood that the urban explorer had the best of motives. The urban explorer was given a tour of the mansion by her, after which he gave her the cash. Ferrari Daytona. Someone once noticed a bizarre object sticking out of the bushes outside of a deserted home in Spain that appeared to be a red metal bird. They moved closer and saw an abandoned Ferrari Daytona tucked away in the bushes. It's unknown why the mansion or the car were abandoned, which is unfortunate to mention because the car had severely rusted. Although Ferrari Daytonas typically sell for up to $600,000, it's likely that this car would need extensive restoration before it could be put on the market. This became popular after being put online. Many readers urged the photographer to simply grab the car and fix it himself in the comments. It's unfortunate that this Ferrari Daytona was abandoned and allowed to rust birds. As of right now, no one knows what happened to it. Perhaps somebody will buy this car, fix it up, and make a fortune, or perhaps they'll just use it for personal transportation. $1 Million Comic Book. Action Comics, the first comic book to include Superman, is the rarest and most expensive comic book in existence. It's worth $3.25 million. And in 1997, Nicolas Cage, an actor, purchased it. But the comic book was taken from Nicolas Cage's home in 2002, 3 years later. The stolen comic book was eventually discovered in an abandoned storage locker in California, USA, 11 years later, in 2011. Nobody knows exactly how it got there. Some others conjectured that if you tried to sell it, too much media attention would be drawn to it and the thief would be apprehended. That being the case, it was simply abandoned. Rare coins. Finding coins is sometimes preferable to finding large sums of money. This is due to the fact that certain rare coins can be extremely valuable. That is precisely what was discovered in a Pennsylvania home that had been abandoned. For 20 years, the house had been completely uninhabited. But when a professional searched the residence one day for any valuables, he found numerous rare coins dating back to the 1820s, which were valued at over $200,000. There were numerous coins scattered throughout the house, but there was also a hole in the wall that was home to thousands of dollars worth of rare coins. Classic Bugatti. After the secretive and reclusive scientist Dr. Harold Carl passed away, his family went to his estate to look through his stuff. While they were there, they discovered a wonderful 1937 classic Bugatti in the garage. There were only 17 of these in existence. This had been gathering dust in the millionaire's garage for 50 years. It's incredible that this car is worth about $10 million. This is it for today's video. What do you think of our video? Tell us in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more future updates. Thanks for watching.